Hey, beloved. It's Dr. Friend, and I'm coming to you tonight like having white tears out of my eyes because just in a moment of worship, the Lord showed me like how His favor has been on my life. Like very clearly, like how His favor has been on my life, and He's no respecter of person. So if that favor can be on my life, it can be on yours also. And so I just wanted to share this quick message while it was so deeply enrooted in my spirit. And He took me to Genesis and the story of Joseph. So it's Genesis beginning at chapter 37 and going through chapter 47. And this is a story about Joseph. And many of you know this story very well, but I'll just share briefly that Joseph was a child of Israel. He was sold into slavery by his brothers who conspired against him. But then Joseph was rescued out of a pit. He rose in the ranks of the Egyptian government, which as a foreigner is difficult to do as someone from the outside, but he gained the trust of the Egyptian officials and started to rise in the ranks. And as he's rising in the ranks and becoming kind of one of the lead officials in the country, then he is lied on. Um, the person he's serving, the Potiphar, his wife, says that Joseph attacked her and sexually assaulted her. And there's evidence that suggests that it is, but that it's in fact not true. And so then Joseph is thrown into prison after being falsely accused. But what separates Joseph from others who might have this terrible circumstance is the gifting of God, the favor of God on his life that comes in the form of interpreting visions and dreams and being an advisor and being strategic and knowing what steps to take. So this gifting that he has makes room for him even as he's in prison, and it takes him out of prison and re-entry into kind of the role of working in government. And as he re-enters into this role of working in government, he gets taken higher and higher in his standing in the country. Again, a country where he is an outsider. He still not only rises the ranks, but after being falsely accused and imprisoned, he comes out and rises again towards the top of the country. And then, God reveals part of the purpose for this in Joseph's life as there's a drought in his homeland and his family comes and he is in a position now in this foreign land to ensure that his people are taken care of, his family is, but then again, all of his people, including the brothers that sold him into slavery. So this is a picture of God's favor on Joseph's life. And so for you who may be at a hard time, you may be at a great time, but if you are a pursuer of God, a pursuer of Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that I'm talking about here, then there's a few things I want to share with you tonight that the Lord just dropped in my spirit so deeply tonight. Number one is He will rescue you. So you may have grown up in a bad situation. You may have struggled, or you may have grown up great and then you've fallen somehow, whether it be your brother selling you into slavery or into bondage in some way. Someone close to you may have betrayed you and hurt you. So it may be like an emotional hurt, emotional pain, an emotional pit that you're in, or it may be physical. It might be a material pit debt, of financial debt. It may be a pit of being in the wrong place or the wrong situation or have had made mistakes, but God can rescue you. He can pull you up out of that. And so now shift your thinking to understand that there is a better day ahead, that the power of God on your life can create a better day ahead. If you're in a pit right now, if you're in bondage right now, if you're struggling right now, there's a better day ahead, and that is the message in Joseph's life and in my own. I'm a witness to this. The second thing is God will lift you up. So he'll rescue you and he will also lift you up. He will also take you higher and higher and higher from glory to glory to glory. That process requires you to submit your life the way that Joseph said, look, I know whatever's going on, God is responsible, and I'm just going to look for the good that I can do where I am, and I am going to trust God that he's going to carry me higher. And he does not lie. Doesn't mean you won't go back. Look at Joseph's life. Once you rise, you can go back. There are times in life, and this is number 3, where you take a step back. Don't be discouraged. Number 3, don't be discouraged when you take a step back. You have to stay encouraged. Things happen. There is trouble in this life. Negative things will come at you. But when the weapon's not prospering, it means it's not impacting your spirit. It's not impacting your attitude. It's not impacting your thinking. Be of good cheer, for God has overcome the world. Yes, the world is fallen. Yes, the world is painful. Yes, it's tough to get anything going in this life and make positive movement in this life. But stay encouraged. You will fall back, but God will lift you up again, again, and again. God is faithful. And there may be some of you who've been depending on God for something. You've been counting on him for something. You may feel like he's abandoned you or forgotten you. That is a lie. God is faithful. He never fails. If you are submitting to Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, if you are submitting to God and asking for his ways, I ask in the name of Yeshua the Christ for his ways, then he will not fail you. So if something's wrong, examine yourself. Examine the people around you. Examine your decisions. Search yourself to find what needs to change. God is consistent and he does not fail. He will not fail you. He will be faithful. This is a promise that is made, that if we would submit to him, that he would be faithful to us, and he does not break his promises. So if it feels like something not being fulfilled, don't doubt God. Search yourself. Finally, brothers and sisters, beloved, finally, I don't know how to say this more. Like, our God is a God of abundance. Our God is a God who provides, who saves, who rescues, who redeems, who saves. Yahweh is the one true God who provides all for his dearly beloved children. And he's just asking for submission. He's just asking us to lay down our lives. I lay down my life in the name of Yeshua the Christ as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable. And then I am transformed by the renewing of my mind. This is Romans 12. And I'm transformed by the renewing of my mind, so that now my mind is focused on whatever is good, whatever is true, whatever is perfect. My mind is focused on what God wants for me. And he promises that he has a plan to prosper me in Jeremiah, to give me a hope and a future. And so this is the God that I serve. And I pray that you would see this God, Yahweh, in Yeshua the Christ, has a loving plan for you. A loving plan for you and your abundance. And all that he asks is that you receive him, and receive his love. This is a life of abundance, beloved. Receive it in the name of Yeshua. Blessings.